And since we found most of our good ideas this month at Andover Wood Products, let's go back through that operation to look at some things that we might have missed or overlooked the first time through. In the sawmill, Andover's own maintenance crew mounted back turners on their HMC mill. These are reportedly much faster in turning the log than the conventional log turning mechanisms. At the cutoff saws, we see another good idea. Lumber storage areas have been provided right at the saws. These allow some lumber to be accumulated while the regular lumber package is cut. When a new load is being brought in, the cutoff saw operators and the cutoff saw crew in total can remain productive, drawing lumber from these storage areas. The roll conveyor over the belt conveyor, which feeds the planer, functions as a surge area if too many cup boards are encountered at any given time. The reason for the hole in this ripsaw dust pipe area is interesting. Prior to a visit by a service representative, a kickback problem was experienced with this saw. After some study, the service representative concluded that for some reason the movement of air around the saw was contributing to the kickback problem. This small hole was then made, which changed the air dynamics, and the problem was solved. Mr. Stecker indicated that one of the most worthwhile investments that Andover had made was the installation of steel floors in the aisleways of the plant. Maintenance problems typical with concrete floors have been eliminated, and the floors facilitate easy movement of the stock. The steel floors are about 3/8 of an inch in thickness. The floors have somewhat of a raised diamond pattern, which reduces the tendency for the floors to become slippery. Accumulation of oil on the floors is, of course, not permitted. The metal floors are not located at the employee entranceways, so tracking in of snow and ice and consequent slipperiness has not been a problem. Each ripsaw crew at Andover has a designated color. Upon completion of each load at a particular ripsaw, the off-bearer from that saw marks on the load their crew's color. Thus, productivity and quality can be monitored by saw. The cutoff saw crews also color their output. Thus, the productivity of the night shift cutoff saw crew can be distinguished from the output of the day shift cutoff saw crew. Another good idea pointed out to us at Andover was the simple use of a weighted rope hold down, which reduces the tendency for stock to fall off of the loads during movement. Sometimes the simplest devices can be the most effective. This blackboard, which is located near Andover's ripsaws, tells the ripsaw crews the stock sizes that should be saved for the salvage saw. In the summertime, when excess waste is available at Andover, the company runs its waste material into chippers rather than conventional hogs. The chips are then sold to nearby pulp and paper mills. We saw a few moments ago two of Andover's productive glue reel operators in action. One of the reasons for their productivity is Andover's policy of cleaning each glue reel once a week. Part of this maintenance procedure is to apply a coating material to the arms of the clamps, which reduces the tendency for glue to stick to them. The material which Andover uses is called Bates Booth Coating. It is available from Upson Chemical Corporation of Williamsville, New York. We also saw the way that Andover prevents panels from sticking to each other after gluing. A quick handful of sawdust applied between the panels and the problem is minimized. The sawdust, which has been sifted to remove dust particles, is actually purchased from a nearby company. The sawdust is loaded into the dispensing hopper from a second floor area. The mirror mounted at the glue reel operation is also a clever idea. The mirror allows the operator to inspect the stock for glue coverage prior to gluing. The protective cage, shown here mounted on the front of the forklift, was pointed out to the staff of the video journal and indicated to be a good idea in action, which typifies Andover's concern for employee safety. And speaking of safety, Andover also has a noteworthy component of its safety program. The company has a weekly contest. The employee who comes up with the best safety slogan or saying wins a $5 gift certificate for merchandise to be purchased at one of the local stores. Also, the slogan is exhibited for all to see and hopefully remember during the workday. We believe this next interesting idea, which was called to our attention at Andover, is a beautiful example of woodworkers' ingenuity. First, look at this dust collection and cyclone system. That almost horizontal pipe which you see is, or at least was at one time, the company's smokestack. Now the system works like this. The output from the company's boiler operation exits the boiler and passes through this pipe and enters this cyclone where the hot flue gases are separated from the ash particulate. The particulate is then collected in this collection area. The hot flue gases are then extracted and flow through this almost horizontal smokestack. At the same time, green sawdust is input by screw auger into the other end of the smokestack. Inside the stack, pieces of angle iron are attached to the pipe. Although it's hard to see, the stack is actually mounted on a ring mechanism which constantly rotates the stack. Since the stack is at a slight decreasing angle from the point the sawdust is input back to the plant, the green sawdust is carried by gravity towards the plant. The rotation of the stack with the mixing action caused by the internally mounted angle irons then allows the hot flue gases to dry the green sawdust as it moves towards the plant. Upon arrival at the plant, the dried sawdust is then immediately input into the boiler system of the plant and used as fuel.